I'm Chip from the Digital Grandstand, and what a crazy race that was. Before we go into all the details, let's get the podium finishers out of the way first. Daniel Ricciardo won the race, Valtteri Bottas was second after passing the third place Lance Stroll centimeters away from the finish line. That's right, no Vettel and no Hamilton on the podium this time round, after both were hit by various problems. And oh, they were not the only ones, not by a long way. In fact, apart from Stroll and, I think, Magnussen and the McLarens, every freaking car had issues. Let's go through them, shall we? After a clean getaway on the exit of turn 1, Daniel Kvyat went a bit wide and, when rejoining the track, he forced his teammate Carlos Sainz into taking evasive actions, overcorrected the steering and spun to the back of the field. Less than 200 meters away, in turn 2, Bottas and Raikkonen had a tussle which left both cars with some damage. Kimi had bargeboard, sidepod and rear wheel problems, while Valtteri's front wing took a hit. Bottas pitted and rejoined one lap down on track. Raikkonen went on for another few laps until he too was called in. Daniel Ricciardo meanwhile was having a different kind of issue. Some debris were caught in the brake ducts of his Red Bull and, pitting very early, he was stationary for a while, the team clearing the ducts. On the other side of the Red Bull garage, Max Verstappen was having similar debris problems, this time those getting stuck in his front wing. He was running quite competitively before his power unit expired. The race became really weird by about lap 15 when Daniel Kvyat's Toro Rosso grounded to a halt in the second sector. Even though the stewards tried to remove the stricken car under double-waved yellow flags, in the end the safety car was called. Everyone piled into the pits for what was assumed will be the only change of tires. This of course played into Bottas's favor since he was allowed to unlap himself. However, right before the restart, the weirdest accident occurred. Coming out of the second to last corner, Hamilton, leading the pack, didn't floor the throttle right away. Sebastian Vettel, running very close behind, was caught out by this and made slight contact with Hamilton. Vettel's front wing was damaged and the German felt he was brake tested by the Brit. Obviously angry, Vettel pulled alongside Hamilton and turned into him. Right front tire straight into the Merc's left front tire. What? No damage done, but calm your nipples, Seb. Behind the top two, there was a fiery battle between the Force Indias and the two Williams cars. However, this proved catastrophic for the Force Indias. Coming out of the first corner, Perez was squeezed by his teammate and the two cars made contact. Perez lost half of his front wing but also a front suspension arm. Little bit behind them, Kimi Raikkonen's day got even worse. A rear tire failure damaged not only the rim but also the rear suspension and the floor of the car. Both Sergio and Kimi were into the pits, seemingly out of this race. But oh, we're not finished. Because of various incidents, the safety car was called out once again. Only 2 laps later, the stewards red-flagged the race. The debris on track had reached junkyard levels, unfortunately. For almost 20 minutes, the cars were stationary on the fast lane. Sensing an opportunity, both Ferrari and Force India hastily repaired the cars of Raikkonen and Perez and, when the track was clear, sent both out to rejoin the race. However, the teams worked on the cars outside of the fast lane and Sergio and Kimi had a drive-through penalty for this. After another single restart lap under the safety car, the battle resumed. Out in front, Hamilton kept Vettel some 2 seconds behind. The battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th and so on was intensifying. Again, Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo all duking out for position. Then, something crazy happened again. The headrest on Hamilton's car came loose and, despite him trying to force it back into place, he had to stop for safety reasons. An unplanned pit stop meant he dropped from the lead to 9th and behind his teammate Bottas, who, remember, was 1 lap down at one point. Vettel inherited the lead but was soon handed a 10-second stop-go penalty for dangerous driving. After his penalty, he rejoined in 8th, just in front of Lewis. What followed was a damage limitation race for the title protagonists. Sainz, Alonso, who was running 4th at one point, Magnussen and Ocon all succumbed to first the Ferrari, then the Mercedes. It was sort of a everything you can do, I can do later scenario, with Vettel taking places on the main straight and Hamilton following suit between turn 2 and 3. They worked their way up to 4th and 5th respectively. But the story of the day had to be the one at the front. Daniel Ricciardo, after a very difficult start of the race, made up places with every occasion and, after the Vettel-Hamilton calamities, he found himself leading the race. He will hold on to that position for the rest of the afternoon. Behind him, Lance Stroll, yes, the Lance Stroll, was running in second place with a significant gap back to the Ocon-Bottas battle. The Finn, driving like crazy after his difficult start of the race, inched closer and closer. After making easy work of Ocon, he set out to cut a 12 seconds gap to Stroll in 10 laps. And he did just that. Constantly 1.1, 1.2 seconds faster than the young Canadian, he will snatch second place from the Williams driver on the run to the finish line. Behind the top three, Vettel and Hamilton got the better of Ocon, while Magnussen, Sainz, Alonso and Verline completed the top 10. What a crazy race that was. Massive congratulations to the top three, Daniel Ricciardo and Bottas for making comebacks worthy of Jim Clark, and to Lance Stroll for keeping his nose out of trouble. He is a bit rough, but a good racer nevertheless. All in all, it felt good not to have Vettel nor Hamilton on the podium. If anything, I feel sorry for both of them. Hamilton had nothing to do with his headrest coming loose, and Vettel, well, he only has himself to blame for that outburst. And that was the very first Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and the second one to be held at the Baku street circuit. What are your thoughts of this Grand Prix? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and check back soon for more F1 related content. Or you can always subscribe. I've been Chip. You can find me on Twitter at chip_DGS, and that was Beyond the Finish Line for the 2017 Azerbaijan Grand Prix.